there, welcome back to The Taste of Life. For those of you who are just tuning in, this is a free series of videos where I'm guiding you on the journey to cross the bridge to a life of freedom, of joy, of well-being, and of limitless possibilities. This series of videos is based on my book, The Taste of Becoming Me, and after step one, claiming your power, we are now in step two, from separation to unity. And today we are going to be talking about yet another aspect on how to find that connection between what you're experiencing in life and everything that is out there. And we will be talking about the seasons and how the rhythm of the seasons has really a big influence on our life and is way more connected than we might have always believed. I was born in summer. I was born in June, like right before the summer solstice, and summer has always been my favorite season. I never really liked winter, and spring and fall were kind of just okay. But I never ever considered the seasons as something being connected to my life. I never considered the seasons as having an important lesson for me on how to go through life in general. And it wasn't until after my cancer diagnosis that I discovered how so very much I had always expected myself to be in full summer. Like, I was expecting myself to constantly feel joyful, to constantly be upbeat, to constantly be positive, be joyful, be blooming, be energetic, and that was what I constantly expected of myself. And then after my cancer diagnosis, there was first of all the emotional stress of anxiety and fear showing up, and there was this darkness. And then there was the fatigue because of the treatments that I was undergoing. So I was blaming myself really, really hard for not being able to live up to my expectation of constantly being in high energy, vibrant, joyful, and full of life. I was afraid of the darkness, and most of all, I was afraid that I would never ever experience the joy and the beauty of life again. I was afraid that I would never be able to go back to that energetic, full of life woman that I used to be. And it wasn't until an amazing shaman friend of mine said to me, "But Muriel, you do not expect the trees to be in full blossom all year long either, so why do you expect that of yourself?" That I realized how harsh I was being for myself, because indeed we do not expect the trees to be blossoming like all year long. We do not expect the flowers to be there all year long. And still we expect from ourselves to be upbeat and to be positive and to be energetic and to be full of life all year long, year after year. The more I connected to nature, the more I came to appreciate the lessons she had to share with me. I learned that my experience of life became better if I could allow my life to flow in the rhythm of the seasons. I learned that, yes, in winter the trees are bare and the flowers might die, but they will come back in full bloom in spring and in summer. Actually, in winter, in that darkness, is the time where they rest, where they find the nourishment, and where they prepare themselves to come back even stronger and even more colorful. So that is where I learned that in my own darkness, when I was going through that time of really, really fear and anxiety and depression, that was also a time for me where I could go and find the nourishment for my soul, where I could go really, really deep into my roots and really find what it was that I needed to come back again, even more alive and even more energetic and joyful than ever before. And it was from Mother Nature that I learned that in the fall, the trees just really abundantly drop their leaves, like willing to let go of them, because they know, they trust that in spring they will bloom again. And that made it so much easier for me as well to step into the letting go of old patterns, of old beliefs, of burdens that I had been carrying for years. And yes, it took time, but it was such a valuable lesson that I learned from the seasons. Just looking at it and looking at how accepting I was of everything that was happening in nature, of everything going through this cycle of life and death, that made me realize that if I could do that for myself, that my experience of life would be so much easier and so much more joyful. Our life is not meant to be lived at a constant high speed. We too are going through the flow of life and death every single day, every single week, every single year in our lives. Our emotions, our energy levels, our body, we all need a time to rest, to recharge. We all have down times and we all have up times. We go through this flow constantly. And it is because we are resisting that flow, because we are fighting against it, that we experience so much pain and so much suffering. And we're blaming ourselves and we're judging ourselves. And we are constantly trying to meet the expectations of others, and maybe most and foremost of ourselves, that we constantly have to be in that fast forward mode of energetic and uplifting life. And it just is not possible. It is just going against everything inside of us. And once we can step into that knowing, into that acceptance of following the rhythm of the universe, of really allowing our life to flow in the rhythm of the universe, that it makes a really, really big difference in our experience of life. So as a tip for today, I would like to say to you, please try to step into that acceptance of your life flowing in the same rhythm as the seasons, and try to have the same acceptance for that happening in your life as you have the acceptance for it happening in nature. So when you have a down day, when you're feeling tired, when you're feeling low, accept it as a time to recharge, so that you can come back even stronger and even more alive and more joyful than before. So try to step into that acceptance, be gentle with yourself, be loving towards yourself, and step into the knowing that your life as well is meant to flow in the rhythm of the universe, just like the seasons. So that was it for today. I thank you very much for listening again. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you would like to reach out to me, I would very much love to hear from you. My website is listed below. I hope you will join me again next week when we will be talking about feeling tired and how to change your mindset in that aspect of your life. Thank you again. Hope to see you next week. Bye for now.